How's it going, everybody? Dara Burns here of St. Patrick's Athletic. Subscribe to Irish Footy Vlogs for the best League One content around.
Hi guys, welcome to the Transfer Rumour Show. This is the show where, guess what, we rate the transfer rumour. We have Daz with us today, and Daz is going to give us a rating between 1 and 10 on each individual rumour. 1 meaning the least likely, 10 meaning obviously highly likely. I'll just stress as well that you're going to get no revelations here. This isn't from the Bible or anything, so but we're just going to rate rumours that we see basically online and things like that. So there's nothing I haven't seen, let's say, online in here. Anything I've heard that isn't online, etc. It wouldn't be fair to include this, to be fair. So, Daz, we'll start off with actually Aaron McIneff, which we've seen this morning. Actually, this is the freshest rumor. He's been linked to Derry City from Hearts on loan in January. Now, I'll put some context around this first before you actually get into it. But Aaron McIneff obviously is a Derry boy. He's been with Derry. We've seen Derry City and they're going big. They really are going big. Michael Duffy and McElhenney in as well. I suppose you could call them his buddies. They were at Derry City as well. But McIneff, 15 games for Hearts since he's moved there. A little disappointing. I think he's lost his place fairly recently as well. So, you get the feeling that there's some legs here. I think Derry City probably are interested in him. But the question is, I suppose for you, is how likely is the move? How likely is it to happen, I guess?
Well, I think first of all, Keith, there's a lot of things there to say that it could happen and it could be very true and really in the pipeline. He has the Derry links that we talked about. He's a former player. He's from the place. He loves the place. He loves the club. He had some very, very good times there. Derry are in the money now. They've got money. They've got transfers. They've got a good manager in charge. They're fourth in the league. They have a lot of things going for them, and they've brought in a few top players already before the season starts next season. During this season, so I think this one could be pretty high. The one thing I will say is, the fact now that he's in the full-time setup in Scotland, I'd be thinking he might want to try and keep that and even go on loan to another Scottish team, even like the likes of St. Mirren or someone like that, where there's lots of Irish players, and try and keep a full-time status. If he comes home here, I know Derry probably will be full-time. You're still playing in a part-time league, and you don't want to drop from professional football to semi-professional football after making the move over. So I think if he can keep his options open to stay in Scotland, I think he will. But I definitely think there's something to this story. And I would definitely say Derry have approached him, as have probably the likes of Dundalk, Shamrock Rovers, and other clubs. He'd be a great player to have in this league back here, and I'm sure any team would take him with open arms. I definitely think there's something to this, and yeah, I'd rate this one very highly. I'd actually put this as an 8 for myself. I think out of a lot of transfers rumours I've heard so far, this one has legs to the story. I think this could go some places.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Owen Toll now from Derry City to Hearts, the other direction. We know Owen Toll's a brilliant defender. He's been captain at Derry. He's been in the Derry side since he was 17. Still very young, 22 years of age. It's hard to believe. He plays like a veteran, doesn't he? He's a really, really good defender. Now, of course, Derry City, there's a lot of good stuff going on at Derry City, but I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, Derry City fans, I believe he's another year to go in his contract, and Derry might be looking at that and saying, look, we might be able to cash in here. Hearts were definitely interested in the last window, so much so as well that the links came up on Sky Sports News, and I don't think a League of Ireland player, you know what I mean, is coming up on Sky Sports News as a link unless there's some legs there, and it seems the Hearts are still interested. I don't see why they wouldn't be still interested. If they were interested in the last window, why not be interested in this window? And for all we know, there could have been agreement there that he finishes the season with Derry City. It'd be a shame to lose him from the league, but how do you see that one?
Yeah, look, again, this is an interesting one. Owen Toll's a smashing defender. He's way ahead of his years for the age he's at. He's obviously had a few very bad injuries that I think he came back from very well, and it doesn't look like it's affected him too much. He's a good, strong player. We all know what he can do, and I think there'd be lots of other teams in the league here interested in him, let alone abroad. But I definitely say there'd be other teams other than Hearts interested in him too. But interesting that it's the other way. Then Hearts looking at a player here to bring back over. He's at 22 as well, so he's at a good age, and I think if he wants to move abroad, now it's time to go. Because if he keeps leaving it, the chance might start to go. Whereas if he goes abroad, doesn't work out, he can come back home. It was on Sky Sports, and they're not really that wrong most of the time. They obviously have someone in the know, at every club. in the UK. So there definitely was contact made about this player. Definitely something was put on the table. And, something could be in the pipeline going forward for this for a few weeks' time, the next transfer window. I would say this one is very high as well. But Owen Toll will definitely be looking to keep his options open. He might be looking at McIneff, kind of getting out of the team and thinking, maybe this isn't the move for me. So he might be thinking that way too. But I do think he will go. I think he will go abroad. Mightn't be the Hearts either. But I definitely think he'll go. I'd put this one maybe at a 6. It's hard to know which way it's going to go, but I think it's more favourable for him to go than to stay. So that's why I kind of give it a 6.
Fair enough. Now we have a couple of Bowes ones coming up here, and one of them is Ross Tierney to Motherwell, Daz. And obviously Ross has been very good this season for Bowes. He's a midfielder that links up well with Georgie Kelly, runs in beyond the striker. He's very good at pressing. I believe he's the highest assist maker in the league as well. I believe that's true. It might be 12 assists, correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe he is. But if not, that's a good record anyway. Motherwell in Scotland, obviously Premier Division side in Scotland as well. We have seen success stories as well, like Jamie McGrath recently moving to St Mirren. Ross is still an Irish under-21 international. How do you see this one?
Yeah, look, I think firstly, I just want to say Ross is an absolutely smashing young lad. He's a smashing player. He's a lovely lad. He's a real fan's favourite at the club. And look, I think he will go. And we're all going to really miss him. You can never, as a Bows fan, hang on to a player and get attached to them because, they will go. Unfortunately, that's the way the club is. But, Ross has done himself the world of good this season. Like, he came into the team. He made the position his own. Like, he's a standout player for me in the league. Like, he's very small, but he makes up for that in so many other ways. And he's a very well-rounded player, very level-headed, cool on the ball, can pick a pass. He's got an eye for a goal. He's a real workhorse, gets up and down the pitch. He's fast. He's got everything you want a young player to have to mold into your team. And, this is a terrific young player. And I think if he does move, he thoroughly deserves it. And, I do think he's better than to be in the League of Ireland, in my own opinion. He's done very well when he came into the Ireland team too. I think he came in late into one of the squads and got a goal when he came on straight away after a few minutes. That's absolutely excellent to see. And, I would put this one pretty high. I think he will go. And I think there's more than a few teams going to be in for him. And I really hope we get a transfer fee for him because it's terrible letting our best young players go every season for free. But look, I definitely think this is... I think Ross will be gone. Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's going to be gone. I'd love him to stay as a Bows player, but I won't hold anyone back that wants to better themselves in the UK. I hate losing players to the team in the league, but if you're going to go to the UK or abroad to better yourself, like, you can't stand in the way. And I wish him all the best if he does go. I'll probably be putting this one as an 8 or 9. I think he is gone, and if he is gone, best of luck to him, and I hope he makes it really big in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one's Michael O'Connor from Shelbourne to Bowes. Now, I believe this is something that it kind of could happen if Georgie Kelly was to leave. So, rating this one might depend on how likely you think Kelly's to leave the club. Do you know what I mean? But how do you see that one? O'Connor to Bowes?
Like you said there, I think personally, first of all, I think Bowes, we should be trying to look at maybe, if you can, a player more of a better player than O'Connor. If we can, he is a good player, like he definitely is. But I do think, we have the league's top scorer at the minute. It's going to be so hard to replace that. So we can't be looking at another George Kelly if we're to leave George Kelly out of the question.
He is similar to Georgie Kelly, I have to say, in terms of holding up the ball and strength and things, and he's only 22. I think his issue has been, you could argue, doesn't score enough goals up to this point in his career.
But then again, like Georgie Kelly was saying before he came in here, he hadn't scored loads of goals either, and he flourished this season.
Yeah.
And I think as well that, players and people alike that be looking at Bowes this season as a mid-table team. We're not top 3 team this season, unless we get a miracle to finish up there. We're a mid-table team this season, so we'll probably be attracting upper mid-table players.
Yeah.
Could be the way it is, but as you said, it kind of does. Firstly for me, I don't even think it depends if George Kelly leaves. We need another striker. Adora came in from England very raw. He's a young player. Be interested to see what he can do, but he's very, very young. He doesn't start. Promise played last night up front. He's not even now another striker. We don't have another striker really, so we need someone. So I would say this is high. I'd like to be claimed to the club. I'd welcome any striker with open arms. We need players. We definitely need players.
I will add one more thing, Daz, before I forget. Just I'll add it in. I believe he's still in contract, so Bowes would have to pay a fee. So does that tamper your rating a little bit? Do you think Bowes would pay a fee to bring him in?
Well, see, I think if Bows were to sell a few players this season and get transfer fees for them, they might put a small bit of money in the kitty to get players in the league. So I think that might cancel out that, and I think they would pay it. But if we're going to pay a fee for a player, I'd rather we got someone like Romeo Parks or someone like that. If we were to pay a fee, but it definitely throws a variable into the equation. Anyway, that could change it. But I'd probably put this one as 6.5. I think it's likely to happen, and we do need a striker.
He's going for the points. 6.5.
not quite a 6. But, look, it's in the middle of a 6 and 7 for me. I'd like him at the club. We definitely need a striker, and George Kelly probably will leave, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll see in that one. But Liam Corrigan, from UCD to Sligo Rovers. Now, Liam has been excellent for UCD this season. Scored 11 goals in the league. I believe 12 or 13 assists as well, Daz, which is impressive. Midfield player, central midfielder. Again, Irish under-21 international recently. He stepped in there and did a good job as well. He's a Sligo man. He was in the Sligo Academy before he moved to UCD. Now, I know there's a host of clubs apparently interested in him, but I wanted to focus on Sligo more and see what you thought the chances of him moving back to Sligo maybe are.
Yeah, look, you brought up an interesting point there. Like, to start off with, like, he's from Sligo, so that's definitely going to turn his head slightly. You know, he could be moving back to his hometown, home place. You know, that's definitely going to be an elite Burns player, mind, if they can get home to where they came from and be happy with a sustainable contract on a full-time or a near full-time basis. And Sligo are having a good season this season. It's not like they're lingering around the bottom of the table, so I wouldn't you want to go there. But I do think, though, too, you'll have a host of clubs interested in him. Like, every Dublin club would probably be in for him, and I think it's going to come down to money for this one. If he's already living in Dublin and doesn't really want to move, and Path to Rovers comes in with more money than Sligo, he probably will go there, I'd say. And then if it doesn't work out there, he could go to Sligo then. I wouldn't really put this one myself personally that high for them reasons, but I do think lots of Dublin clubs are going to be in for him. There's so many clubs around Dublin, even Dundalk's not that far away, so I wouldn't really put this one high. I'd probably put this one as a 4. I think there's less of a chance of him going to Sligo than there is of him going to Sligo. There's more of a chance of him going to another Dublin club, I believe, or Dundalk, if they came in for him. His options are certainly open. He's a smashing player. I've seen him play with UCD in Ireland underage. He's definitely going to go places. Now's the time to step up the Premier Division. I think he's ready for it, and he's a good young player, and it'd be interesting to see where he goes. But I think there's more of a chance of him going to, as I said, another Dublin club than Sligo. But he'd be great on Sligo if he was to go there. I wouldn't rule it out though either.
Yeah, it all depends. You never know. UCD could get up. I'd imagine if they don't get up, it's likely that he'll have a host of clubs that he can choose from. Look, Daz, we'll leave it there. Thanks for coming on. And guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Give a rating, give an opinion. What do you think of these rumours? Doesn't matter who you support, let us know. And like the video, subscribe if you're new, and hit your bell notification button so you don't miss a video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thank you. Olé, 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 olé.